Okay, so I'm going to go slowly to start with, and just to say I'm a little bit excited, a bit apprehensive, a bit anxious, and I do that a lot usually. I do some webinars, but knowing who is going to join is always the question. So let's say I'm live on a lot of platforms. I think we have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We have quite a few going on. So some people may be watching. We'll see. Welcome. Today is my webinar workshop. I wanted to have a workshop so that people can actually participate. And the title is called Notes, Taking Notes. So single notes could save your day, because that's really happened to me, right? To all of us. We have lots of notes, and it could really save your day, but as long as you find it. So the difficulty for all of us is sometimes to go and get it, go and find it. So I'm going to have this discussion with a lot of ideas, and hopefully it's useful for you, because a lot of this comes up from conversation with colleagues, with clients, with friends, and we all have different way of doing, which is absolutely fine, because we cannot have one what is it called? One fits all, basically, one way fits all. Everybody has their own way, and I'm going to show you how I do that. So first things first, what am I talking about? Who am I? So of course I am in IT. That's what I will consider telling people. I like to say digital nowadays, because I don't do just, or I don't even do development anymore. I do a lot of digital things. So I advise people on how to implement the system, but mainly I teach them how to do it. So it means I don't do it for them anymore, and I just teach them. So we go over a few days or a few hours. They learn and learn, and then they practice, and then we meet again, and then they get really better. And it's great for me to see progression, and that's what I love as a digital artist. Let's say I'm not an artist, right? But I'm just sharing what I know, what I've been using. So using all my experience, I would like to tell you about notes taking. So we're gonna do not that long, I think 25 minutes to be fair, and then I would love to hear your comments on all these channels, so that we can continue this conversation. And yeah, you can check out my YouTube channel. There's a lot of comments every now and then. That's what I do. I love to speak to people, and yeah, get their opinion from all over the world. So what do we do now? You all take notes. You all look at that. Even next to me, I don't use it much, but I do. Every now and then, I even have a paper. So I use paper as well. So like I said in the introduction of this workshop, it's not going to be just digital. I'm really happy for you to say, "Oh, well, no, I don't want to be digital. I don't want to have a tablet and a pen and things like this." So fine, just stay with, look at this, stay with your chalk and pencil is absolutely fine. We're going to give you some ideas on how you can merge both. Have your own tools and then bring it into maybe digital. So basically, are you paper? Are you digital? You should know the answer, of course. You can put it into the chat already. And then from that, what do you do? Do you have to change all your habits, or no? You can just keep it. Maybe you just like to do your handwriting. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to type 300 words a minute to be able to take notes digitally. You can use your handwriting. We'll see that in a few minutes. Your notes, what do we do? Do we share them? Sometimes I could actually rip a page from my notepad and just pass it on to someone, because, you know, that's something, some notes I took from a conference, and it can be really useful for someone else. So do you do that? If you do that electronically, digitally, how do you share it? And are you sure that the person can click on the link and open it straight away, or it's going to be complicated. So a lot of things to consider when we take notes nowadays. And then the main thing, and that was really the topic of today, or not the topic, but the thing that pushed me to say, well, let's have this discussion, is how do you find them? Because finding a note should be under half a minute, right? 30 seconds, that's it. I should look for a note, and in 10 seconds, I find it maximum. Because otherwise, what happens? You give up. So if you have your paper notes, well, it might be difficult to find it, but you may have a technique, and I would love to see how you do that. What about meetings? So meeting notes is something that is really raising in the past few months, how to take notes in a little bit more, I don't want to say intelligent way, because we were all intelligent before, but in a bit more like productive and accelerated. I decided to use the word today, acceleration. That's what we're going to be using a lot with these tools. So do you have any specific techniques? Do you have a workflow that you follow? And you know that when you take your notes, you really organize it in a folder alphabetically or by clients, by date. So you have specific coloring maybe that you use. Maybe you have this, I used to have some post-its that you can stick on the side of your folders so that it's really easy to just open the folder. Maybe you have some technique like this. So like I said, you don't have to drop your paper. So paper versus digital, it's a very big discussion. I mean, it's the same when you talk about books, when you love reading, but you love your paper book, right? And then some people will be like, no, I love my Kindle or my, oops, don't give brands here, my Kobo and all that. But we really like the touch, and that's fine. Stay with the feeling of writing. So imagine that you adjust paper, as I said, that's absolutely fine. No worries for that. But what you could do is to digitalize it. So digitalize means that you literally have some tools that could scan your paper. This one, as you can see, again, don't want to put brands there because they don't sponsor me, but this one is going to scan a whole book, almost line by line. It's doing it a few lines by line. We have other tools that you could write with a pen, but the pen is going to record everything you do on your paper. It's a special pen, right? So it's a little bit heavier than a pen, but it works really well. So think of how you could bring some tools into your paper. Another thing, of course, there is, I'm saying, of course, as if it's obvious, but that's the point of today, is to make everyone aware. You could write everything, but this, you don't want to lose it. So you just snap it with your phone, but not just your normal camera app. You use an app that is going to convert it into maybe PDF, into Word document or Google Docs, things like this. And then it's going to understand, analyze every character. So it's going to do what we call optical character recognition. So it will take all the characters, everything you write, most of what you write, because of course my handwriting may not be understood as much as someone else, but the system will try, the app will try, and they are getting a lot better, including using AI. So now they will learn how you write and become better every day. And the beauty is that you can basically search very quickly. You would just type, I don't know, conference with David, boom, it just comes up, all your conference where you went with a certain David. Categorize them. You can categorize them even really easy. This screenshot is from a green app that we're going to see later. You can have stickers. So the little tick mark sticker means that automatically it's going to go into the notebook that called approve, or it's going to automatically tag it in the app as work because there's a little purple icon. So you can have lots of little stickers physically that you put on your paper, you snap it with your phone, up, categorization is done. Really great. And like I say, it's no problem to have paper. It would be good, maybe, to have a bit of digital. Why? Because if I'm traveling, I don't want to carry all my notebook, especially if you are moving country and you want to have your notes that you took 10 years ago for some reason. that's what I have anyway, digitally in my case. But not everybody can do that. So you could scan everything, but you want to still have your writing on the go. So tools like this ones, they are called Kindle, and then Remarkable. Remarkable is super cool tool. And my best friend is just telling me you need to talk about Remarkable because he's loving it. First of all, it's thinner than my notebook, right? So really easy to carry everywhere, much thinner than your laptop. And yes, it is like a tablet, except that it's going to be black and white, so you can actually use it under the sun in a very bright light. And then with a pen, you just write. But what is the main feature of this is that the pen, even though it's plastic, it feels like a normal pencil sharpener. It's really not sharpener, sharp pencil. It's really amazing. So give it a try, because obviously you write on it, but as soon as you write, if you are connected to a network or when you come back home on your Wi-Fi, it will just synchronize. It will just connect and synchronize. It means you back up everything you wrote. So even if, you know, someone is, you are losing, you lost your little e-paper or e-ink is called, and no problem, because, well, once you get a new one, you can just retrieve your notes, or you can go to the website of this this app, and then you will get all your notes again. Again, your handwriting is going to be recognized, optical character recognition, and then you can do a search very quickly. Oh yes, of course. I'm pretty much, you know, working 70% of the time with Microsoft apps. So I had to include Microsoft OneNote. So just so that you heard of it for years. I mean, who hasn't heard of it? But, you know, not really keen because it's Microsoft. Maybe I work only on Mac. Maybe I have a tablet and I don't really want to use something like this because I want to continue using, how's it called? Apple Note or something like this. Well, what can we do? The big thing we can do is that OneNote, you can just use your finger on a phone or a tablet or on the screen here, and you draw whatever you want. So you can really include an image like this, this photo of a bird, and on top of it, you just scribble the notes that you want to show. So that would be great. Next thing is you type, but also you write with your hand again, handwriting, again, OCR, you search on it. What is the big difference from this and scanning everything and putting it there? Well, it's because everything you scan, you could just store it into your OneNote. So really nice, because my OneNote has thousands of notes. It must have a few dozen of folder is called, and I organize things like this. But the main thing is that I do a quick search, just a few characters of a word. I could type the humming, so HUMM, boom, it will find all my hummingbird notes. So we write anything, almost anything, because yes, you can even record your own voice into it. You can be in a conference, take a snapshot of a whiteboard, and then the whiteboard will be converted or understood that it's like just a whiteboard. It doesn't take the edges. So really something that you should give a try. Okay, this video is pretty rubbish. Let's see if it comes better. It doesn't come better. This is just showing that we can do synchronization in seconds. So it means that if I'm going to try to see, no, it's fine. It doesn't work. So on the left, you have a computer. On the right, you may have a Mac, for instance. And then as we're writing, it's synchronizing, but in 1 second. So the little square that you see on the right is going to show on the other computer and on the mobile, being Apple or Android, in seconds. So compared to some other apps, it's quite fast. It's synchronized really fast. Yes, of course, you need a Microsoft account. You can use a free one, or you can use a company one or work one. Mobile, I mean, this is a no-brainer, right? Nowadays, everything is mobile, and mobile works really well. Of course, it has improved over the years, so it's pretty cool. Why has it improved? Because we're also seeing Copilot being integrated. So I want to start talking about Copilot a bit, because Copilot is AI, right? So artificial intelligence, it's the engine that is promoted by Microsoft. It's not the only one in the world, as you know. There's ChatGPT, there's lots of things, but this one is integrated into lots and lots of tools, lots of apps that Microsoft 365 is providing. It doesn't come for free, that's true. You need a special license for that. But once you have it, it's going to dig into all your own data that you have in 365 so that you can ask some intelligence. So you could say, okay, last week I was I was making the list of my participant to conference. Can you write this list straight into OneNote? And because everything is connected using Microsoft Graph, then he has this ability to go and get data elsewhere and bring it here. So Copilot is going to be, it's already there, but it is going to be the today future, if you see what I mean. It's already there. I need to talk about Microsoft Loop, because taking notes nowadays is not just for you. You may want to share it, and you can share OneNote. You can share other type of notes with people. Even if you take your notes on a Word document, right? You share it, and then you send the link to someone. You say that this person or someone with the link can just open it with a login, fine. But Microsoft Loop is all about co-creation. So this little animation is showing me 4 people, and they're all connected on different screens, and they're all writing at the same time. So you may tell me, oh, yeah, great. That's nothing new, really, because we had this in Google Docs, we had this in Microsoft Word, etc. That's true. However, Microsoft Loop is a central component now. In fact, they call it Loop component. So Microsoft Loop is going to be the centerpiece that you can access from other apps. So imagine that you create here a marketing ideas. And now I'm going to say, well, these marketing ideas, I could use it in a Word document. For now, on a Word web document, it will work. I could send an email to someone and say, oh, could you contribute to these marketing ideas? In that case, I add the Loop component marketing ideas into my email. As soon as they receive the email, they can just start typing. So the email becomes interactive. Whereas up to today, until you know about Loop, you would have received an email and all you can do is click respond, but you don't really interact on an email. You don't really move the characters around and increment a document. And of course, in Microsoft Teams, you can also have your Loop component. So you start on, you type on it in the same marketing IDs that someone is editing in an email, someone is editing in OneNote as well, because you can have Loop inside OneNote. That's for the user who just want to be in OneNote. They don't want to go to Teams because they are just focused on OneNote. So it's really, really something to look into. Okay, and of course, yeah, I did mention AI through Copilot, but AI is also not just Copilot. We could have it in meeting transcription, right? So Copilot does it. When I'm in a Microsoft Teams meeting, I can easily enable the Copilot by default. So as soon as you start a meeting, Copilot is going to hear everything, and then you can ask questions during and after the meeting. During is fantastic because someone arrives 10 minutes late, they will be able to say, what did I miss? Give me the main point, etc. So that's we've integrated Microsoft Copilot, of course. However, I don't do all my meetings on Microsoft Teams because I have customers that use Zoom. I have some who use Google Meets and other systems. So you may want to use an AI that is a little bit more, can get every meeting really as much as we can. So for that, yes, there's a lot of AI tools that can transcribe your meeting. So they record and then they transcribe everything. I would have a tendency to prefer the one that don't keep the recording. It means that they record live, they hear live, they stream the sound, and then they write it all as a transcription, but they don't keep the voice. Why? Because we see that in terms of security and data security. It's quite important to know where is this recording. So then we obviously have the detail of the conversation. We talk and talk and talk, and I don't know about you, but we can be distracted by something shiny over there, and then there's like a noise in the next room, and we don't hear it. We just lost the conversation. Well, my AI on a phone or a computer is not going to miss that. And then you also have it integrated in other apps. So I did mention in Microsoft Teams, but you also already have it in Zoom. You already have it in some other, even Google Meet, because you have Gemini integrated. So lots of apps, right? Can do real time during and after meeting. However, big threat or big worry here, everybody would have this in their mind. What do we do with privacy? My recording, my own voice, is someone going to be able to take my voice and reproduce it and, do some personal information, identity theft and things like this. So make sure that you read between the lines, that you check, make sure that there is a compliance in terms of what level of security, so that what is said between me and the server of the website that is doing the AI is not going to be intercepted. So you can easily find out this, because the company that makes the service will not provide such service if they don't have such a policy. So just make sure that it's something that says it has been certified by, it has been checked, and this is all the ISO that you can follow and have more information. And in fact, it's kind of a circle is going to be complete, but you can actually ask an AI about the company and say, well, is this website safe? Where is their AI? Where is the voice? Where is everything stored? Which company? Which continent, really? Okay, and I want to tell you about me. So it's a bit more like intrusive, I guess, but I'm going to show you, tell you how I do things. So everything that is personal, it's been years now, I think over more than 15 years, that everything is on Evernote. So I'm telling you this now openly. So yes, you can try to hack it, etc. There has been, like every company in the market, there has been some leaks of username and sometimes password, but I'm always checking very closely how they do their security, how they do their encryption, and so far I'm still relying on them. Evernote is really famous. I remember that I was one of the 60,000 first members, and I was lucky enough to be in San Francisco when they had their big yearly, I think it was 1 or 2 years party. So we went there and we met the CEO, and we were like, oh, super excited. Now they are like millions of users, so no, they are not inviting us. But I really trust them. However, the interface was a bit poor over the past 10 years. It was just the same, no innovation, nothing. If you have not used it recently because you gave up, have a look. So we are in September 2024, 24, yes. Have a look at the latest app, being on mobile, being on computer, and on web, on the app on the computer, and then the web version, because they have really improved. And yes, they brought some AI. Not yet amazing AI, but the interface at least is working better and it's quite fast. Okay, so what do I do to scan all this? Because I have years of documenting this. Everything is scanned, and I use mobile phone app such as ClearScanner. I don't save it in the cloud on ClearScanner, because what I do is that as soon as I scan or I take a shot, I just press share, but I share it inside Evernote. So it goes to Evernote as a PDF usually, and then that's it. It's saved on Evernote. So between ClearScanner and Evernote, it's direct from my phone. Yes, obviously some notebook are shared, because then we both have access. We can both do a search. And if you ask me, like, find me a proof of address that is less than 3 months, I can just type bills and it will come up. However, for work, I needed to differentiate both a few years ago because of this. Because if I type, I don't know, invoice, then I will get all my personal invoice, all my business invoice. It's just a mess. So I separated them, and I choose OneNote, and I'm also using Loop for all the reasons I gave you before. So sometimes I do use voice, very rarely on OneNote, but I definitely do a lot of typing, screenshots. I do take shots on my camera where I am at conferences, and then handwriting when I have my iPad. Everything is searchable, of course. And yes, I could have used, I just thought about this, I could have used OneNote for personal as well, because you can have multiple notebook. So you split them and then you say, well, I have a notebook that is for business, I have a notebook that is for personal. So when you do a search, you only search one and not the other. That's true. Except that OneNote was a little bit more complicated to share when someone doesn't really have the Microsoft account. And at home, we are much multi-domain and multi-technology. So Evernote was easier. Yes, my meeting notes, including sometimes this one that I'm doing live. I'm using some services from Tactic AI, really good because they don't record your voice. All they do is transcription, live transcription. And in fact, they use the transcription from the meeting where you are. So it's just using what you're saying and just transcribing in multiple language. And then what is great with this is that once the meeting is finished, I can go there and I just say, give me the actions. And then I have my list of all the 5 actions that needs to be done. And he even tells me this one is to be done by Sarah, this one is to be done by John, and this one is to be done by me. So really a gain saver. When I'm in a classroom, because sometimes I do attend some lectures, I use a mobile app. And so far, I've tested a few, and SoundType AI is super cool because it differentiates the voices. So you can say there was like 2 or 3 people talking, it will differentiate the voice, and then you just have to give a name. So you would say speaker 1, you say me, speaker 2 is John, etc. Really liked it. Okay, just to conclude, I'm going to say, yeah, what do you need to do? Just embrace the digital. Yes, I know you like your notebook or that, but try to take some photos, scan it, you send the photos to an app, and progressively you may try new apps. You know, you have lots of modern apps that are using some AI, that are using some optical character recognition. A lot of them are so useful because in a few clicks, you just get your PDF and then you can send it to someone. Read the small fonts. So it means read the little lines within your terms and condition so that you know the service you're using is safe and is not going to end up in places or in people's hand that you don't want them to touch. So, and finally, you have an existing workflow. You are doing things by yourself for years. You have a workflow that works well. Keep it this way. All you need to do is accelerate. Remember the word I told you at the beginning? You're just going to accelerate and multiply the way that you do things to make it better. But do not multiply the amount of time you spend on this. So I want to ask you all now, what is the first step that you're going to take to improve your note-taking after this workshop? What are you going to do? Are you going to install an app? Are you going to maybe look at this app with a pen? I'd be really interested to see that. Okay, I did promise it was going to be around half hour and we are right on time. So I'm going to release you with just a little QR to scan, and you can scan it even after this live webinar because this will be recorded and available. So I'll let you scan, and thank you so much for your participation. All right, thank you.